my gosh, 8. Oh, okay.
How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Good. How has managing stress been lately?
It's been quite difficult because I had a lot to do recently.
I'm sorry, but you got this.
Thank you.
So today I made some slides and some infographics for you to learn more about stress and how to cope with it. Are you
Okay,
ready
thanks.
to learn?
Yes.
Can you see my screen, by the way?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, well, I'm going to start presenting now. This is for half of
Wow. Nice. So nice.
understanding stress. Okay, so since you said that you learn best with like slides and information and reading off of it, I've made slides with words and also visual aids to help you understand these concepts a bit more. To the next slide. So, first of all, let's define stress. So, stress is the body's natural defense system against predators or danger. It causes the body to flood with hormones that prepare its systems to evade or confront danger. It can occur on a daily basis when an individual experiences new challenges or changes. Stress is caused by stressors and very depending on a person. Let and ask you a question. What do you think your stressors are?
School.
School.
Yes. And yes. Home responsibilities, I guess. Yes.
I also have a question. Clarify.
Oh,
What's wrong?
yes. Wait, what are you asking? Sorry.
No, it's okay. Sorry, I thought somebody was talking to you. But
Oh,
well, I had a question. When I do this, can you see the meeting or can you just see the slides?
I can't really see the slide. The meeting's covering the slide.
Ah, okay, so you can see that. Oops.
Okay.
Uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, so your main stressors are academics. And so stressors can vary depending on a person. And it can make them feel burdened sometimes, while other people might view it as something not big of a deal. And so everyone has different stressors and reacts to them differently. And stress can also be referred to as a flight or fight response. So stress can be positive as it allows us to be alert and motivated to do the things we need to do. However, long-term stress is not healthy. There are two main forms of stress, which is chronic and acute. And the difference is that acute is short term, which means the stress goes away. But for chronic, people have difficulty becoming relaxed.
Hmm.
And if you were to classify yourself out of these two main forms, what would you say?
I would say chronic.
As an individual, she's struggling and she's pretty stressed out.
Yes.
So, going into acute and chronic a bit more, these are some symptoms that occur. And acute stress is the most common form, and It occurs when an individual is facing events or challenges such as an exam, and stress often resolves when the issue is resolved. And the symptoms can include headaches, an upset stomach, and some distress. And the difference from acute and chronic is that chronic is a long period, which occurs when a person sees no way to avoid stress and gives up seeking solutions. So, traumatic experiences can contribute to chronic stress, and this form of stress makes it difficult for hormones to return to its normal levels. And some symptoms that you may experience, you said that you feel like stress is chest pain, exhaustion, digestive problems, and weakened immune system.
Wow.
Did you know that?
No.
Okay, good. Oh, um, so going into chronic stress a bit more, it can increase the risk of developing type 2 diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, and mental disorders, which I am aware of them running in your family, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So,
Wow, that's crazy.
so you should
Sorry.
really, no, it's okay. So you should really focus and understand that this is really significant in your life, and it can cause a lot of trouble um, in the future if you don't cope with it correctly or healthily. So, when we're to chronic stress, it can continue unnoticed as people can become used to the feeling of being agitated and hopeless. And it can become part of an individual's personality, making them constantly prone to the effects of stress, regardless of the scenarios that they encounter. Did you have any questions for this part?
No.
On to the next. So here is a more detailed explanation of everything. You can read it for a bit. There's a lot of
Mm-mm.
with stress.
Wow. Oh wow. I have a lot of these symptoms. Am I going to die soon? Just kidding. I'm joking. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
No, you will. Don't worry. Oh, so what symptoms are you seeing that reflect you?
Well, um, I get cramps and muscle spasms sometimes, headaches, nervous twitches, pins and needles sometimes, and like sweat sometimes. But then I also have anxiety and depression. And then I've experienced getting lower immunity against sicknesses. Oh, yeah, diseases. And I sometimes, yeah, my bowel syndromes, bowel syndrome? No, my bowel movements are really not very great. Yes. And I tend to get irritable and forgetful, and I'm fatigued a lot and burnt out. So it's kind of scary to see that yeah.
And it's, oh wait, I can't see your face, so I'm sorry. So I'm going to show you.
It's okay.
But I think it also is sort of being aware that these symptoms are occurring, so you know that stress really has a significant role in the way it plays out.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
it's affecting you in a lot of ways that you might not even know it.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the next one. Um, so one of the things that you wanted to know when you were doing the interview was that you wanted to be able to identify them. So wanted to know how to cope with stress. Um, so first, for identifying stress, you should understand or know what makes you feel angry, tense, worried, or irritable. Being aware of this, like symptoms such as headaches or an upset stomach, or even trouble sleeping at night, can be stress triggers. So you should be aware of how you are feeling mentally and physically. And then going more into stressors, um, you mentioned that a main stressor in your life is academics, and I know that you're experiencing a lot right now, so you have a lot of stresses affecting. But
Hmm.
know that there can be positive events that can be stressors as well. And some of the examples was getting married, which but and buying houses can be stressful. So know that there are a lot of stressors in your life, and even though it might be hard to identify them at first, it's good to be aware of them so you can understand how to cope and easily cope with what's happening. So, how can we identify them? Is by paying attention to what causes your stress and practice ways to relax. And then you can counter some of the bad effects of stress and increase your ability to cope with challenges. So, a question I have for you is, oh wait, I asked this already, but not a question, but I want you to, like in your life, I want you to be more observant about how certain things make you feel because in a way, or not in a way, but those are some things that maybe can help you understand and learn more about what you experience. That's the first step, being aware. And then for treating and diagnosing is actually a little bit difficult when it comes to stress because it's kind of hard. But the most direct way to diagnose stress um, is through a comprehensive, stress-oriented, face-to-face interview. And usually this is done in a professional setting because I cannot diagnose you, but you should definitely seek professional help to really understand what you're going through. And then there's a lot of treatments in dealing with stress. Um, and because stress is often an underlying condition for, and I'm aware that you have anxiety or you're diagnosed with anxiety and depression, um, it's often prescribed with medications to lower the effects of stress.
Hmm.
So, another way for treating is developing strategies before stress becomes too chronic or becomes chronic or too severe. And they can help an individual manage new situations and maintain their physical and mental health. However, as you feel like your stress has become chronic, you should um, I, I um, assume the best option is to seek medical assistance. Um, and that can just be talking to a therapist stress and talking about your feelings because they can really help you direct your thoughts. And I know you're seeking or you're experiencing overwhelming stress, so I think you should take the steps to really understand what you're going through because it is a lot and it's not easy.
No, yeah, yeah.
So here are some coping strategies. So these are specific to stress in general, but these are the different strategies that people may use to cope with certain things. The first is problem focus, which addresses the problem directly. Some examples include active coping, restraint coping, and suppression of competing activities. An example of a problem focus strategy is help or communicating your concerns or setting boundaries. Emotion focused coping strategies aims to reduce the negative emotions associated with the problem, which can include positive reframing, acceptance, turning to religion. Um, Third coping strategy is meaning focus, which is when an individual uses cognitive strategies to derive and manage the meaning of the situation. So it can include changing your thought patterns or perceptions of a situation that can cause anxiety or stress. And some more examples include writing in a gratitude journal or even practicing self-talk. Fourth, the last one is social coping, which is seeking to reduce stress by usually talking or seeking emotional support from the community. This can be to individuals around you, such as ranting, or even just talking about your problems.
Okay.
All these coping strategies, I want to ask, which one would you like? What's your favorite? The one that sounds
Um, I think meaning focused. Huh?
Why is that?
Why? It's because like I've been trying to practice both like these types of things, but I feel like the one that I've how you say it have been working on more to like improve my stress. It's like working on improving my own like view on myself and like my self-esteem because I think that's what's usually bringing me down, thinking that I'm not like how you say it good enough to like be able to overcome my stresses. So I think three is the best for me, like meaning focus, because I try to redirect or instead of trying to I don't know, it just helps me in my I don't know, emotional well-being and like mental well-being when I do that. Because yeah.
It's a good thing that you do that.
Mhm. Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So these are the these are some examples. So I was reading a bit about this, and I think these are some important points that popped up in the article. So the first step in focusing on using healthy coping is to know the difference between healthy and unhealthy. To be able to identify which skills are more adaptive or less adaptive. And it's also important to know that not every skill will work in every situation. It's imperative to not only have a variety of coping skills, but to be able to adapt the coping skills in certain circumstances. From there, it also helps to be self-reflective and experiment in what you've been doing navigating the stressors
Okay.
that help with a little more insight because I think I understand when they're being about coping strategies. Knowing that not everything will one second. Not knowing that everything will work for you, but just trying your best to know what works best for you is okay. So the first is exercise, which I know you love to do.
Mhm.
I also have to make this more easier to digest so we can use this. So some helpful coping strategies include exercise and keep on doing that, which is really good because healthy mind, healthy body. So it can reduce memory impairment in subjects with stress, it shows, and also having a balanced diet, which aids in promoting a healthy immune system, especially when excessive stress does impair the immune system. And third is sharing your feelings and concerns in a healthy way. So just talking with your friends of reducing feelings, reducing negative feelings of isolation. And then you can also, excuse me, try new hobbies to overcome fears, and they can also aid in focusing. Fourth, which I think is fifth, which I think is really important, is being able to take personal time for yourself and knowing when you need it. And then six is finding professional help, such as therapy, which can be used on a regular schedule, so you can find assistance whenever you need. And then miscellaneous. If you want to read these, just let me know.
Okay. Okay.
I was wondering, do you use any of these basis?
I would say maybe talking with people, and then I try to work on my nutrition all the time. Like it's like part of my lifestyle. I need to get better at my priority management and time management because I think that's what's getting to me because I don't know how to properly manage like my responsibilities. And I do tend to always think about the tasks that I haven't completed yet instead of seeing and like digesting like the things I've already done, you know. So yeah.
Okay, so priority management time. So, um, in the first book, it was mentioned that we should know the difference between healthy and unhealthy coping. And so now that I've mentioned healthy, I'll mention the unhealthy as well. So some unhealthy coping mechanisms include consuming too much alcohol, using drugs and other substances, engaging in impulsive behaviors like gambling or reckless spending, outbursts of anger or aggression, ignoring the problem, blaming others, engaging in self-harm and negative thoughts. binge eating or restrictive eating and isolating yourself from others. And if you ever do find yourself doing these things or any unhealthy coping mechanisms that you have identified in your life, um, make sure to take a deep breath and pause for a bit and try to understand why you're feeling that way. Just be aware.
Okay.
And then these are also some resources that I think would help because I know that you like reading, but the first is Atomic Habits, and there's this book called The Power of Now. And this is podcast, so you don't have to read that much, but you can just listen to it. But it's called 10% Happier with Dan Harris. I think they can allow you to broaden what you already know and really apply it to your life to promote healthier ways of coping with stress.
Okay.
And this is the thing is finished, but did you have any questions or clarifications after that?
No, it was very insightful. I learned a lot.
Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I know I now know more ways to cope with my stress.
Okay, I'm happy. One second. How do I move this? Okay. Um, I want to say thank you so much. I want to say thank you so much for being my client so that I could complete this assignment and also learn more about stress and understand the difficulties that you face in your life and somehow help you with it and so you can understand it more. Thank you so much, Haplin. And before we go, we say bye. Um, I have this commitment card which I'll send to you, but it says, I commit to managing my stress with kindness and mindfulness. I will prioritize self-care, stay present, and seek balance every day. By nurturing my mind and body, I choose to live healthier, happier, and stronger. And then a verse I wanted to include is Psalms 46:10, which says, "Be still and know that I am God." And um, when you're having a difficult time, I hope you know that there are always people around you that will listen and try to help you with whatever you're facing. And so that, well, if you do believe, I mean, yes, um, but know that there are people always willing to pray for you and be with you and help you with everything. Because I know that feeling this way is really difficult. And I really want to help you understand how to do these things, and I hope that this presentation and me asking questions really helped you open your perspectives on how you can change your mindset and to find help.
Mm. Okay, thank you. I'll work hard. Thanks.
Thank you. And then
Thank you.
ask you a favor. Is it
Hmm.
alright if we pray?
Yes. I pray?
Yeah, is that okay?
We Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's right. Dear Lord, thank you for having um, this time to learn about stress and how to cope with it. Thank you for Kina and having her help me try to solve my issues and help me like understand where my stresses come from. Please be with us as we end this semester, and please be with Kina as she finishes her finals and everything. Please be with us with all of our struggles and any issues that we're having or facing. Please take care of us and always watch over us and bless us in all that we do. Please help us remember that you're always there for us whenever we need you, and um, make sure to let us know um, when to step back and breathe sometimes. Thank you for all that you've done for us. In your name, amen.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thank you.